She thought it was just another delivery, another address, another tip, another step closer to paying rent. But when Lena Hart pulled up to that abandoned cargo port on a rain-soaked Seattle night, she had no idea she was walking into a trap meant for someone far more dangerous. Within seconds, her ordinary life shattered. A man covered in blood, 2 screaming infants, and a choice that would drag her into a world where one wrong move could cost her everything. What she discovered next would change her life forever, and there was no turning back. This is Nemi's story, where African folktales meet real-life lessons that will change how you see the world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support keeps these stories alive. Now, let's begin. ***. Lena Hart wiped the condensation from her windshield and squinted at the glowing map on her phone. The address didn't make sense. Pier 47. Abandoned cargo district. No businesses. No apartments. Just rusted containers and broken streetlights swallowed by the Seattle rain. This has to be a mistake, she muttered, tapping the screen. But the DashRoute app insisted. Express delivery. High tip. Pick up at Port Storage Unit 12B. She needed the money. Her medical certification exam was in 3 weeks, and she was still $200 short. Since her parents died in the car accident last year, every dollar mattered. Every shift mattered. Even the weird ones. Lena pulled her beat-up Honda into the gravel lot and killed the engine. The rain hammered against the roof. Through the windshield, she saw nothing but shadows and fog. Her hands tightened on the steering wheel. Just get in. Get out. Go home. She grabbed her flashlight, stepped into the rain, and jogged toward the rows of shipping containers. Her sneakers splashed through puddles. The beam of her flashlight cut through the darkness, bouncing off rusted metal and broken glass. Unit 12B. Where are you? Then she heard it. A baby crying. Lena froze. Her breath caught in her throat. The sound was faint, muffled by the rain, but unmistakable. A second cry joined the first. Twins. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but something stronger pulled her forward. She followed the sound around a corner and stopped dead. A man slumped against a container, his white shirt soaked through with blood. In his arms, 2 infants wailed, their tiny fists beating against his chest. His head hung low, dark hair plastered to his face. He was barely conscious. Oh my God, Lena dropped to her knees beside him, her medical training kicking in before fear could paralyze her. Sir? Sir, can you hear me? His eyes fluttered open. Dark, sharp, dangerous, even through the pain. You're the delivery girl, he rasped, his accent thick. Korean. His voice was low, strained. They used you. What? I don't understand. Who did this to you? Lena pressed her hand against his side. Blood soaked through her fingers. Gunshot wound. Lower left abdomen. He was losing too much blood. Doesn't matter. He coughed, crimson staining his lips. Take them. The babies. Take them and go. I'm not leaving you here to die. Lena looked around frantically. No one. No cars. No help. Just rain and darkness. We need to get you to a hospital. No hospital. His hand shot out and gripped her wrist with surprising strength. They'll find me. They'll kill us all. Who? Who's trying to kill you? He didn't answer. Instead, he looked down at the crying infants in his arms. His expression softened, just for a moment. Miri. Minjun. My children. Lena's mind raced. This man was clearly in danger. The babies were in danger. And somehow, she'd been dragged into the middle of it. The app. The fake order. The isolated location. It was all a setup. Listen to me, she said firmly, shifting into the calm, authoritative tone she'd practiced in her clinical rotations. If you don't get medical help in the next 30 minutes, you're going to bleed out. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get you into my car. I'm going to take you somewhere safe. And you're going to tell me everything. He stared at her for a long moment, as if weighing whether to trust her. Then he nodded, barely. My apartment, Lena said. It's not much, but no one will look for you there. Getting him to the car was a nightmare. He was over 6 feet tall, muscular, and deadweight. Lena wedged her shoulder under his arm and half-dragged, half-carried him across the lot. The baby screamed in her other arm, tucked awkwardly against her chest. By the time she shoved him into the back seat, her clothes were soaked through with rain and blood. She buckled the twins into the passenger seat using her jacket as a makeshift sling and floored the accelerator. Her tiny studio apartment was 15 minutes away, tucked above a laundromat in a neighborhood where people minded their own business. She hauled the man inside, laid him on her kitchen table, and grabbed her first aid kit. "Stay with me," she ordered, cutting away his shirt. The wound was worse than she thought. The bullet had gone clean through, but the exit wound was ragged. She worked fast. Pressure, gauze, disinfectant. Her hands moved on muscle memory. "What's your name?" she asked, keeping him conscious. "Jisoo," he breathed. "Jisoo Ra." "Okay, Jisoo. You're going to be fine. But you need to tell me who did this." His eyes locked onto hers. "The people I trusted most." Lena's stomach dropped. "Your family. My syndicate." He grimaced as she pressed down on the wound. "Hwanguk. I run it. Or I did. Until tonight." Lena's hands stilled. You're in the Mafia?" "Not just in it." His smile was bitter. "I am it. And now they want me dead." The babies cried louder. Lena looked over at them, bundled on her couch, red-faced and terrified. Then back at Jisoo. At the blood. At the madness she'd just walked into. "You brought the Korean Mafia to my apartment," she whispered. "I brought my children to the only person who could save them." His hand found hers. "You." Outside, the rain continued to fall. And somewhere in the darkness, Lena knew, someone was already looking for them. Lena didn't sleep that night. She sat on the edge of her worn couch, watching Jisoo's chest rise and fall, listening to the twins whimper in their makeshift crib, a laundry basket lined with towels. Every car that passed outside made her heart jump. Every footstep in the hallway sent ice through her veins. By dawn, Jisoo's fever had spiked. His skin burned under her touch. Infection was setting in fast. "Jisoo." She shook his shoulder gently. "I need to get you antibiotics. Real ones. Not the expired stuff in my kit." His eyes cracked open, glazed with pain. "No hospitals. No clinics. I know a pharmacy tech. She owes me a favor. I can. They're watching everywhere." His voice was barely a whisper. "The moment you use your name, your card, your phone, they'll know." "Then what do you want me to do? Let you die?" He grabbed her wrist weakly. "There's a man. Kim. He works the night shift at a veterinary supply store on Aurora Avenue. Tell him the crane flies at midnight. He'll understand." Lena stared at him. "That's a code phrase? Really? Just do it." She did. 2 hours later, she returned with veterinary-grade antibiotics, for fluids, and enough medical supplies to stock a field hospital. Kim hadn't asked questions. He'd just handed her a duffel bag and disappeared into the back room. Lena started the 4, administered the antibiotics, and redressed Jisoo's wound. The twins needed formula, diapers, baby wipes. She made a list, grabbed cash from her emergency envelope, and headed to the corner store. She didn't notice the black sedan parked across the street. She didn't see the man in the driver's seat speaking into his phone in rapid Korean. She was too focused on getting back before Miri and Minjun started crying again. When she returned, Jisoo was sitting up, pale but alert. "We need to leave. Now." "What?" "You just got the antibiotics. They found us." He pointed to her window. 3 floors down, 2 men in dark suits stood on the sidewalk, scanning the building. "They're checking every apartment. We have 5 minutes. Maybe less." Lena's blood went cold. She grabbed the twins, shoved formula and diapers into a backpack, and helped Jisoo to his feet. He winced, but moved faster than she expected. They took the back stairs, slipping out through the laundromat's delivery entrance. Her Honda was still parked in the alley. They piled in. Lena drove without thinking, taking random turns, doubling back, checking her mirrors obsessively. Jisoo slumped in the passenger seat, one hand pressed against his wound, the other steadying the twins in the back. "Where are we going?" Lena's voice shook. "Anywhere they won't look." They ended up at a budget motel off Interstate 5, the kind with peeling paint, flickering neon signs, and a clerk who didn't ask for ID as long as you paid cash. Room 14. Ground floor. 2 double beds, and a bathroom that smelled like bleach and regret. Lena locked the door, shoved a chair under the handle, and finally let herself breathe. "Okay." She turned to Jisoo. "You need to tell me everything. Right now? Who wants you dead? Why? And why do they care about your babies?" Jisoo sat on the edge of the bed, his face drawn. "The Hwanguk Syndicate isn't just a criminal organization. It's a family empire. Centuries old. Built on blood oaths and tradition. I inherited leadership 5 years ago when my father died. And someone wants to take it from you. The Council of Elders. His jaw tightened. 7 men who believe I'm too young, too reckless, too Western. They want to return to the old ways. They orchestrated the ambush. But why target your children? Jisoo was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was hollow. Because of what's hidden in my skin. He pulled up his sleeve. Lena gasped. His entire arm was covered in intricate tattoos, geometric patterns, symbols, numbers woven into traditional Korean designs. These aren't just tattoos, he said quietly. They're encrypted codes, access keys to offshore accounts, locations of assets, names of allies and enemies, billions of dollars, decades of secrets, everything the syndicate has built. If they kill me and take my children, they can use them as leverage against anyone loyal to me. And eventually, they'll decode the tattoos and control everything. Lena's stomach churned. That's insane. That's survival. The twins started crying. Lena warmed formula in the microwave, fed them, changed their diapers. Miri had Jisoo's dark eyes. Minjun had his mother's delicate features. Where's their mother? Lena asked softly. Jisoo's expression went cold. Gone. Gone as in left you? Gone as in. She's the one who gave the council my location that night. Lena nearly dropped the bottle. Your wife tried to have you killed? Ex-wife. Yerim. We were arranged, a political marriage to unite 2 factions. She hated me from the beginning. When the council offered her freedom and money in exchange for betrayal, he looked at his children, his face breaking. She took it, but she didn't know they'd go after the twins too. Does she know they're still alive? Not yet, and we need to keep it that way. That night, while Jisoo slept fitfully and the twins dozed in their makeshift crib, Lena sat by the window, watching the parking lot. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Asterisk Lena. It's me. I heard you're in trouble. Meet me tomorrow. Pike Place Market. Noon. I can help. A asterisk. Her breath caught. Hey, Aaron. Her brother. The one who disappeared 3 years ago after their parents' funeral, leaving nothing but debts and broken promises. She should delete it. Ignore it. But desperation made people reckless. The next morning, she told Jisoo she was going out for supplies. She didn't mention Aaron. Pike Place Market was crowded. Tourists, street performers, vendors shouting over each other. Lena scanned the crowd and saw him. Taller. Thinner. Harder. Aaron stood near the fish stalls, hands in his pockets, eyes scanning the crowd like a man being hunted. Lena. He grabbed her arm, pulled her into an alley. What the hell did you get yourself into? How did you know? Because the people looking for you work for the same people I work for. His face was grim. I'm in deep, Lena. I owe them money. A lot of money. They made me one of their runners. And when your name came across their radar, his voice cracked. I had to warn you. Can you get us out? Can you help? Aaron looked away. There's no out. Not for me. Not anymore. Aaron, please. Go back to your motel. Pack everything. There's a safe house in Tacoma. I'll text you the address. He pressed a burner phone into her hand. Don't trust anyone. Not even me. What does that mean? But he was already walking away, swallowed by the crowd. Lena returned to the motel with fresh dread coiling in her gut. When she opened the door, Jisoo was awake, standing by the window, holding Minjun. Miri lay on the bed, unnaturally still. Something's wrong, Jisoo said, his voice tight with panic. She won't wake up. Lena rushed to Miri's side. The baby's lips were blue, her breathing shallow. Poisoned. Minjun too, Jisoo choked. They're both. Lena's training took over. Activated charcoal. Induced vomiting. For fluids. She worked for 2 hours straight, fighting death with everything she'd learned in her incomplete medical education. When Miri finally cried, weak but alive, Lena collapsed against the wall, shaking. How? Jisoo whispered. Lena looked at the formula container, then at the burner phone Aaron had given her. And she understood. The trap was tightening, and someone she loved had just helped spring it. Lena stared at the formula container in her trembling hands. The seal had been broken. Not torn, carefully opened and resealed. Someone had tampered with it while she was gone. Someone who knew exactly where they were staying. Aaron, she whispered, the name like poison on her tongue. Jisoo's eyes narrowed. Who's Aaron? My brother. Her voice cracked. He contacted me yesterday. Said he could help. I met him at Pike Place. He gave me this phone, and she looked at the burner, realization hitting like a sledgehammer. He told me to come back here. He knew where we were. He knew everything. Jisoo's expression hardened. He's working for them. No, he wouldn't. But even as she said it, doubt gnawed at her. Aaron had changed. The desperation in his eyes. The warning not to trust him. He tried to tell her. The burner phone buzzed. A text message. Asterisk, I'm sorry. They have my daughter. They said they'd kill her if I didn't help them find you. I'm coming to get you out. Midnight. Back entrance. Be ready. This is the only chance. A asterisk. Lena's world tilted. Daughter? Aaron has a daughter. She read the message again, her hands shaking. 3 years. He'd been gone 3 years, and he'd built a whole life she knew nothing about. A life the syndicate was using as leverage. It's a trap, Jisoo said flatly. They're using him to lure us into the open. Or he's telling the truth. Maybe he's trying to fix what he did. People don't get redemption in my world. They get buried. Lena looked at the twins, now sleeping peacefully after their near-death experience. Then at Jisoo, still weak from his wound. They were sitting ducks in this motel room. The syndicate knew where they were. It was only a matter of time. I need to see him, she said quietly. Face to face. I need to know if my brother is still in there. Then you're walking into a bullet. Maybe. But if there's even a chance he can help us. She met Jisoo's eyes. We're out of options. Jisoo studied her for a long moment. Then he reached under the mattress and pulled out a handgun. You know how to use this? Lena had never held a gun in her life. But she took it anyway. I'll figure it out. Midnight came with fog rolling off Puget Sound, thick enough to taste. Lena stood in the motel's back alley, the gun tucked into her jacket, her heart hammering against her ribs. Jisoo waited inside with the twins and a backup plan. If she wasn't back in 20 minutes, he'd take them and run. Headlights cut through the fog. A silver SUV pulled up, engine idling. The driver's door opened. Aaron stepped out, and Lena barely recognized him. His face was gaunt, carved hollow by sleepless nights. A bruise darkened his left cheek. His hands shook as he approached. Lena. Thank God. He reached for her, but she stepped back. Did you poison those babies? The question stopped him cold. What? No. I would never. The formula was tampered with. Right after I met you. Right after you told me to come back here. Her voice was ice. So either you did it, or you told someone where to find us. Aaron's face crumpled. I didn't have a choice. They took Emma. My daughter. She's only 2 years old. They said if I didn't lead them to you, they'd. His voice broke. I tried to warn you. I told you not to trust me. And the poison? That was them. Not me. They wanted to send a message. To show Jisoo Ra that no one is safe. Not even his children. Aaron's eyes were wild with desperation. But I can fix this. I can get you out. I have a car. Fake IDs. Cash. We can disappear. All of us. And Emma? Aaron's silence was answer enough. Lena's throat tightened. They're not going to let her go, are they? Not unless I deliver you. He looked at her with hollow eyes. That's the trade. You and Jisoo for Emma. And I've been standing here for 5 minutes trying to decide if I'm selfish enough to do it. Aaron, I'm your brother. I'm supposed to protect you. But she's my daughter. Tears streaked his face. What do I do, Lena? How do I choose? Before she could answer, red laser sights painted Aaron's chest. 3 of them. Get down. Lena screamed. Aaron shoved her behind the dumpster as gunfire erupted. Bullets sparked off metal. Glass shattered. The SUV's tires exploded. Lena pulled the gun from her jacket, hands shaking, mind blank with terror. She'd never shot anyone. Never even thought she could. But when a figure emerged from the fog, weapon raised toward Aaron, instinct took over. She fired. The recoil nearly knocked her down. The shot went wide, but it was enough. The gunman ducked, giving Aaron time to tackle him. They hit the ground hard, struggling for the weapon. Run! Aaron shouted at her. Get Jisoo and run. But Lena couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. 2 more figures closed in from opposite sides. This wasn't a capture operation. This was an execution. Aaron got his hands on the gunman's weapon and fired 3 times. 2 bodies dropped. The third dove behind a car. Lena, go. Aaron was on his feet now, backing toward her, firing to keep the remaining shooter pinned down. There's more coming. You have seconds. Come with me. I can't. His smile was broken. Resigned. They'll never stop hunting Emma if I run. But if I stay, if I make them think I died trying to capture you, maybe they'll let her go. Maybe her mother can take her somewhere safe. Aaron, no. Tell Emma her daddy loved her. His voice was steady now. Certain. Tell her I was trying to be better. He turned and ran, Not away from the danger, but toward it, drawing fire, giving her time. Lena ran the other way, her vision blurred with tears. Behind her, gunshots echoed through the fog. She burst through the motel room door. "We're leaving. Now." Jisoo didn't ask questions. They grabbed the twins and fled through the front entrance as more gunfire erupted in the alley. Lena drove blindly, her hands slick with sweat on the steering wheel, Aaron's last words echoing in her mind. They didn't stop until they reached a rest area 50 miles south. Lena pulled over, killed the engine, and finally let herself fall apart. Jisoo said nothing. He just held the twins while Lena sobbed into her hands. Her phone buzzed. A news alert. Breaking. Man killed in shooting outside Seattle motel. Police investigating possible gang connection. Victim identified as Lena Hart, 31. Lena's scream shattered the silence. Aaron was gone. Her brother. The one who disappeared. The one who failed. The one who tried so hard to save them both. Was dead. And it was her fault. She'd trusted him. She'd asked for help. She'd pulled him into this nightmare. He sacrificed himself, Jisoo said quietly. He chose you. He chose his daughter. And she's still out there. Still in danger. Lena's grief hardened into something cold and sharp. They took everything from him. From me. From us. She looked at Jisoo. At the twins. At the impossible situation they were trapped in. "I'm done running," she said. "It's time we end this." Jisoo's eyes gleamed with something dark. Approval. Maybe even respect. "Then we go back to where it started," he said. "The cargo port. The Council of Elders will be waiting for me to make a move. We give them one they'll never forget." Lena nodded. Grief and fury mixed in her veins, forging her into something new. Something unbreakable. Aaron's sacrifice wouldn't be meaningless. She'd make sure of it. The cargo port looked different in daylight. Less like a graveyard, more like a battlefield. Rusted containers stood like silent witnesses to the violence that had started everything. Lena pulled the Honda into the same gravel lot where she'd found Jisoo bleeding and holding his twins just 5 days ago. 5 days. That's all it had taken to destroy her old life and forge a new one from the ashes. Jisoo sat beside her, his wound finally healing, his face carved from stone. In the back seat, Miri and Minjun slept peacefully, unaware that their fate, and the fate of an entire criminal empire, would be decided in the next hour. "They're already here," Jisoo said, nodding toward the warehouse at the center of the port. Black SUVs lined the perimeter. Men in dark suits stood watch, weapons barely concealed. "The council doesn't meet in public. This is a show of force." "Good." Lena's voice was steady. "Let them watch." She'd spent the last 2 days preparing. While Jisoo made encrypted calls to his few remaining loyal operatives, Lena had done something far more dangerous. She'd gathered evidence. Bank statements Aaron had hidden in the burner phone. Recorded conversations he'd secretly captured. Surveillance footage from the motel showing syndicate members tampering with the formula. And most damning of all, text messages between Yerim and Elder Kwan, the council's leader, planning not just Jisoo's assassination, but the eventual murder of the twins once they'd served their purpose. Aaron had died protecting her, but he'd also died gathering the ammunition she needed to fight back. "You don't have to do this," Jisoo said quietly. "I can face them alone. You can take the twins. Disappear. Live your life." Lena looked at him. This man who'd been a stranger a week ago. This feared Mafia boss who'd shown her nothing but desperate love for his children and grudging respect for her courage. "Those babies almost died in my arms," she said. "My brother gave his life to give us this chance. And I'm tired of watching other people sacrifice themselves while I hide." She met his eyes. "Besides, someone needs to make sure you don't do anything stupidly noble." A ghost of a smile crossed Jisoo's face. "You sound like a queen already." They left the twins with Kim, the veterinary supplier who owed Jisoo his life twice over. He'd guard them with his own. Then Lena and Jisoo walked into the warehouse together. 7 men sat at a long table in the center of the cavernous space. The Council of Elders. Ancient faces carved by decades of violence and power. At the head sat Elder Kwan, silver-haired and serpent-eyed. Beside him, dressed in elegant black, stood Yerim, Jisoo's ex-wife, the twins' mother, the woman who'd orchestrated everything. Jisoo Ra. Kwan's voice echoed through the warehouse. "You've shown remarkable resilience. We expected you dead 4 days ago." "Disappointed?" Jisoo's voice was ice. Impressed, actually. It takes skill to survive with a bullet in your gut and 2 screaming infants. Kwan's gaze shifted to Lena. And who is this? Your new bodyguard? She doesn't look like much. Lena stepped forward before Jisoo could respond. I'm the woman who saved your boss's life. I'm the woman who kept his children alive when your people tried to poison them. And I'm the woman who's about to show you exactly how much you've underestimated everyone in this room. Yerim laughed, a cold, brittle sound. The delivery girl has found her voice. How charming. The delivery girl has a name. Lena Hart. And unlike you, I don't betray the people who trust me. The smile vanished from Yerim's face. Lena pulled out a tablet and placed it on the table. I have bank records showing payments from this council to Yerim totaling $3 million. I have text messages planning Jisoo's murder. I have surveillance footage of your operatives poisoning infant formula. She looked at each elder in turn. And I have testimony from Aaron Hart, a man your people killed, detailing every order he received from this council over the past 18 months. Silence fell like a blade. Elder Kwan's expression didn't change. You have evidence. Evidence can be destroyed. Witnesses can disappear. Not this evidence. Jisoo spoke now, his voice carrying the weight of absolute authority. It's already been uploaded to secure servers, distributed to journalists, federal investigators, and every rival syndicate from Los Angeles to Seoul. If anything happens to us, to the twins, to anyone we care about, everything goes public. You destroy the Hwanguk? Another elder stood, outraged. Centuries of tradition was already destroyed the moment you chose politics over honor. Jisoo's words cut like a knife. My father built this syndicate on loyalty. You've turned it into a nest of vipers eating their own young. Yerim stepped forward, her composure cracking. You self-righteous fool. You think you're better than us? You inherited power you never earned. You made decisions that cost us millions. The council was trying to save. The council was trying to steal, Lena interrupted. The encrypted codes on Jisoo's skin. The offshore accounts. The leverage. You didn't want to save the syndicate. You wanted to own it. And what do you know about our world, outsider? Yerim's voice dripped venom. You're a delivery driver playing dress up. When this is over, you'll go back to your pathetic life, and we'll bury you so deep no one will even remember your name. Lena walked toward her slowly, deliberately. When she stood face to face with Yerim, she spoke quietly enough that only the woman could hear. I remember holding your children while they stopped breathing. I remember fighting for 2 hours to keep their hearts beating while you were planning how to spend the blood money from their father's death. Her voice was steel wrapped in velvet. You're not their mother. You're just the woman who gave birth to them. And you will never touch them again. Yerim's hand moved toward her jacket. Lena was faster. She grabbed Yerim's wrist and twisted hard, the self-defense move she'd learned in her Seattle neighborhood finally finding purpose. Yerim gasped in pain and dropped to her knees. Guards rushed forward. Guns appeared. Chaos erupted. Enough! Elder Kwan's voice boomed through the warehouse. Everyone froze. The old man stood slowly, his eyes locked on Lena. You have courage, girl. Foolish courage, but courage nonetheless. It's not courage. It's conviction. Lena released Yerim and faced the council. Your traditions say the syndicate must be led by blood. Jisoo is blood. Your traditions say loyalty must be absolute. He has mine. Your traditions say family comes first. She gestured toward where the twins waited outside. Those children have no one but us. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to reinstate Jisoo as head of this syndicate. You're going to exile Yerim for betrayal. And you're going to accept that the world has changed, that your empire survives not by eating itself, but by adapting. And if we refuse? Kwan asked, though his tone suggested he already knew the answer. Then we release everything. The FBI already has questions. The Korean National Police have opened inquiries. You'll spend what's left of your lives in prison while rival syndicates carve up everything you built. Jisoo stepped beside Lena. Or you can choose survival. Choose the future. Choose to follow a leader who puts the syndicate above his own ambition. The elders conferred in whispered Korean. Minutes stretched like hours. Finally, Elder Kwan nodded. Jisoo Ra will be reinstated. Yerim will be exiled. The council will serve as advisors, not rulers. He looked at Lena with something almost like respect. But there is one condition. Name it, Jisoo said. The girl stays. Not as your bodyguard. Not as your nurse. As your equal. Kwan's eyes gleamed. Our traditions also say that strength recognizes strength. She has proven herself in blood and courage. If she stands beside you, the syndicate stands behind you both. Lena's breath caught. Equal. Partner. Queen. She looked at Jisoo. He looked back, the question clear in his eyes. This was her choice. She could walk away, return to her delivery routes, her medical certification, her ordinary life. Or she could stay, protect 2 children who needed her, stand beside a man who respected her, build something new from the ruins of everything they'd survived. I have 2 conditions, Lena said. First, Aaron Hart's daughter Emma gets protection. Full protection. New identity, education fund, everything. She grows up safe. Agreed, Kwon said. Second, I finish my medical certification. The syndicate funds a clinic, a real one, for people who can't afford healthcare. That's non-negotiable. A smile ghosted across Kwon's weathered face. A queen with a conscience. Interesting. Agreed. Lena turned to Jisoo. Then I'm in. All the way. He took her hand. Not possessively. As an equal. Welcome to the family. Yerim was escorted out, screaming threats that echoed and died in the warehouse's vast emptiness. The council bowed, a gesture of respect and submission. And Lena Hart, who'd started the week as a struggling delivery driver, stood in the heart of a criminal empire as its newly crowned queen. Outside, Kim brought the twins. Miri reached for Lena immediately, tiny fingers grasping. Minjun cooed in Jisoo's arms. They know, Jisoo said softly. They know you saved them. Lena looked at the babies. At Jisoo. At the impossible family they'd become through blood and fire and sacrifice. No, she said. We saved each other. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to look away when someone needs help. Lena could have driven past that cargo port. She could have left Jisoo to die. She could have abandoned the twins when danger came. But she stayed, not because she was fearless, but because her compassion was stronger than her fear. Real strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about choosing to stand up when everything tells you to run. It's about finding family in unexpected places. And it's about understanding that your past doesn't define your future. Your choices do. Aaron sacrificed himself for redemption. Lena sacrificed her safety for love. And both proved that even in the darkest places, humanity can shine through. You don't need a perfect past to build a meaningful future. You just need the courage to choose what's right, even when it costs you everything. Thank you for watching this story on Nemi's Story. If this moved you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next tale. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone fighting their own battles, someone who needs to know they're stronger than they think. Drop a comment below telling us, have you ever had to choose between safety and doing what's right? We read every single one. Until next time, remember, your courage can change not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. Keep fighting, keep loving, keep believing.